Privately owned public spaces, or POPs, are spaces for public usage provided and maintained by private entities. They are relatively common throughout New York City, particularly in Midtown Manhattan, and may come in the form of parks, plazas, arcades, and walkthroughs. In 1961, New York City encouraged the growth of POPs through the passage of the 1961 zoning resolution. In this resolution, private entities were given zoning concessions such as additional floor space in exchange for creating and maintaining an area solely for the public's use. However, due to lack of regulation, the quality of these spaces varied greatly from one another, and some private entities did not adhere to the intentions of broadly defined legal standards to ensure the maximum use of the space by the general public. We examined several of these POPs to get a first-hand feel of how the qualities of POPs truly differed from one another. We took note of the presence of amenities such as the availability of seating, signage, and the overall atmosphere of the space. Sony Plaza Atrium, located in one of the busiest regions of the city at the intersection between Madison Ave and East 56th Street, is a large stone and glass building next to the Sony Wonder Technology Lab. Large banners and plaques outside the building declare the space a public arcade open for the public use. Inside is a large open space lined with food and retail services on one side and heavy metallic tables and chairs on the other. High arching glass ceilings, let in natural sunlight, and more Sony banners and signs on every table further emphasize the public-private nature of the space. The space is quiet and not at all crowded. However, there is a constant presence of tourists, visitors, businessmen, and women that can be seen eating their meals, reading, and chatting. Directly next to Sony Plaza, across East 56th Street, is another large glass-enclosed public space known as Sculpture Park. While the public space signage was much less conspicuous than the ones at the Sony Plaza, there was one clearly visible near one of its entrances. The interior of the space is flooded with natural light, and a much larger volume of people can be seen using the space's large seating area than in Sony Plaza. Again, we can see that the space is being utilized by various people to eat, chat, and rest. The large sculptures and bamboo plants distributed among the area provided shade and brought some color and character into the otherwise gray and white space. The space appears to be quite popular based on the steady stream of visitors leaving and entering the space. A glass door on one end of Sculpture Park takes us to another public space known as Trump Tower. The main entrance of this building, located on the busy East 56th Street, displays a large public space sign. The interior of the building is heavy with 4 floors of brass, marble, stone, and reflective surfaces. Upon walking in, we can see the majority of the first floor is taken up by a restaurant and seating for its customers. On the second floor, there was a Starbucks and additional seating lining the walls. On the remaining 2 floors, there were outdoor balconies labeled public gardens and decorated with plant life and more seating. Zuccotti Park is located in the financial district in downtown Manhattan. This space was essentially ground zero from the Occupy Wall Street movement. Several plaques declaring the space to be public are placed on an elevated space just outside the park. Written in chalk on the stone tiles of the park are the words, "Never forget September 17th, Occupy was born." We took this opportunity to ask a few of these visitors about their opinions on the Occupy movement and Zuccotti Park.
It's fine with me. I don't think it bothered anybody.
I don't support it at all. I think it's a great broadcast space. It's a great space to get people together. In terms of the Occupy Wall Street, where it's a 24/7 camping, living movement, no, I don't support that. Okay. It's a shared public space, not a dedicated space for public that has their own agenda.
I'm not against it. From afar, I didn't. I wasn't. What they were saying had truth to it.
I'm okay with it. It's a central location.
Yes.
I mean, a little bit, but the message was important.
Essentially, we agree that privately owned public spaces are constructed to be utilized by the public. At least, that's the theory. And then again, what determines that a space is meaningfully utilized by the public? How do we go about balancing the need for passive, convenient, and recreational public spaces with the need for spaces that provide an outlet for democratic expression by the people? These are one of the many questions that arise due to the unique private and public nature of POPs.